Hey guys, Get Level here, and today we're going to be breaking down custom alerts for live streamers. So the reason why I'm making a breakdown video as opposed to a step-by-step tutorial is at the end of this video, I want you guys to step out not just knowing how to do custom alerts in one single way. I want you to understand the whole concept of custom alerts. That way, even if you're switching platforms, even if you're switching alert services, you will know everything you need to know in order to spark your own creativity and come up with pretty cool stuff. I need to plug a couple of things before we start. First of all, Halloween overlays. It's spooky season. If you want to get spooky for your stream during this Halloween season, I have like 3 different overlay packs specifically made for Halloween. Yesterday or the day before, I came out with a cauldron that is supposed to go on top of your bid jar. So you'll have a cauldron animated bid jar, pretty much a tip jar, sorry. And then I have a video on how to display your heart rate live on stream. So if you are going to be playing horror games, anything that will spook you, it's a good idea to display your heart rate monitor. It adds that level of production value and interaction with your community. Anyway, so let's move on to the video. So I'm going to be explaining alerts. I'm also going to demonstrate how we can create on the spot some custom alerts. Okay, briefly, what are alerts? Alerts are any means to alert the live streamer that someone has taken an action, that a viewer has taken a certain action. Maybe they followed, they subscribed, they hosted, they rated, they cheered in the case of Twitch, or maybe they donated. Where can we find alerts? So the most basic, especially if you're a console streamer, you can have alerts in chat. You can use a bot. I have a video on that. That will display the alert inside your chat. So during your live stream, your bot will say, hey, this person just followed, this person just donated, just cheered, just subscribed. This is not the focus of today's video, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. Now, there are visual alerts, mostly known as browser source alerts that PC live streamers have access to. Console streamers don't really have access to this. There's nothing implemented in order for console streamers, I'm talking people who stream straight from their consoles, to have visual alerts that will pop up on screen, say the name of the person that has taken which action. Actually, I should probably be showing you an example as I'm talking about it. I believe you guys are all familiar with the famous Streamlabs default alert. Jesus Christ. I need to stop scaring myself like that. So this is an example of a visual alert. It shows up on screen. Every viewer can see it. And of course, you can see it and hear it very loud. Now, there are different types of alerts or visual alerts, basically visual representation. Something that usually doesn't change is the text. The text is web-based basically because it's information that's coming from Twitch. You know, this person, the user, subscribed, which action they taken. So that is code. Now, on top of the text, you will have a visualization. You can get rid of it. If you only want the text, that's completely fine. But if you want to customize whatever visuals comes with it, with the follow alert, for example, that I just showed, we had that little zombie thing. And that is an animated GIF. So that's an animation. There's moving images, if you will. So 3 different types of visual alerts for customizing basically are, first, you're going to have image, then you're going to have animation, and then you're going to have code based. Okay, I'm trying to explain with the simplest words that I can. So we have image, animation, code. Image, obviously, the customization is you create an image, you upload it to your alert service. In this case, I'm using Streamlabs, and then you display it. Now, of course, if you're going to be creating it, there's a little bit of knowledge of file formats, of course, JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs, which is image sequences technically. And then you'll have animation, which honestly, at this day and age, we can just say video files. Okay, so you'll have stuff like .mp4. I don't actually have the list of every file that Streamlabs accepts, but MP4 is pretty much universal at this point. And of course, newest file format that you may not know of, it's WebM. WebM is great because you can not only have, compressed video. It's really small file sizes, good compression, so it looks good, unlike GIFs. But you can also have alpha channel. Alpha channel means like the video can already be transparent, kind of like a GIF, but high quality and small file size. So the 2 ones, image, animation, they're file based. So you upload a file and then basically your alert service is going to display this file on top of the little code of user did this action, right? And then you have the code. You're like, well, you already said there was code, but like I'm talking code for visualization. Basically, you can add custom CSS or JavaScript or whatever type of code-based animation that you want to display stuff. You can put like, hey, I want this rounded rectangle to go up like that and do that, and I want my text to wiggle, stuff like that. Unfortunately for you guys, I am really not good with code. I don't even touch it. Like that's how I avoid it, because fortunately for you guys, I'm good with the two previous ones. So I'm good with images and I'm good with videos. So all right, let's get our hands dirty. This is streamlabs.com and I am on the alert box part of it. Basically, you go to streamlabs.com, you log in with your Twitch account information, and then you go to widgets, I believe all widgets, or just click on alert box right here. And if you're looking for alert box, there's also a search bar where you can just type alert box settings. Boom. It'll bring you here, and then you'll have all the tabs: general settings, follow, subscription. Though that's all the different alerts you can set, and then within those there's all other categories. But we're gonna focus on the basic follow alert here because that's the only one that I have as default. Okay, so in the options, what you're gonna have is enable, disable. If you do not wish to receive alerts for a certain thing, you can disable it. And then second option is one of the most important, the layout. Okay, so is your text gonna appear at the bottom of whatever visual you want to show, or is it gonna appear on top of the visual, or is it gonna appear besides it? Okay, so right now, as we tested, we have it at the bottom, right? Yeah, right. It's at the bottom here. Okay, and if we put it on top of it, and then we click save, and then we test it. Of course, here you have the test buttons. Boom. That's not normal. There we go. Okay. I just needed to wait a little bit. Okay, cool. So you get the idea. This is kind of important depending on what you want to design your custom alert to look like, basically. So you need to have that in mind. Of course, it's super easy if you just want to show something. I know people who create GIFs of themselves doing silly things like dancing, and then they have the text at the bottom. Perfect. Now, if you want to create custom graphics that really match your graphic style and your colors and all of that, having the text on top of it may be a good option. The text by default is going to be placed in the center of the alert, so you can just create an image, have the right size when you upload the browser source, and then that text is going to appear in the middle of that image, right? Okay. Alert animation, it's, you know, fade in, fade out. So we're going to keep it basic, fade in, fade out. No, now, if you already know all of that, don't worry. I need to go through all of this so that I can show you how we can take advantage of all those options when we're creating a custom alert, right? So here there's a little bit of code, like name. That's going to be the name of the user. So if you don't want the name of the user to show or something, or if you want to have a custom text like this person just joined the bunny family or something like that, I don't know, whatever you call your viewers, you can add that right here. So we already have those options when it comes to the text, when it comes to the duration. And here you have the image. Well, there's a text animation. We should probably put that to none. Okay. And here is the image. This is where you would upload an image or a video, as I said. So you can click change media. Well, if you don't want to stress about creating custom stuff on your own, what you can do is go to Giphy, which is what most people do because it's like the lowest amount of effort that you can put in creating alerts. You just find something you like. Let's say find dab. Let's find some dead memes right there. If you want this alert, all you have to do is click on it, go to copy link, copy the GIF link, not the short link, and then right here on your Streamlabs where it says change media, where your GIF is, you're gonna click on the link and you're gonna upload this link. Okay, there we go. It is going to show you a preview. So boom, here you have the preview. You know what it's going to look like. You can click save settings, and we have text over the image. We'll see what it looks like. Let's just test the follow. I'm actually going to lower the time, the duration, so that I don't have to edit out too much of it. Let's say 3 seconds. That's completely fine. And now we're going to test the follow. Boom. It's in there. Okay. We're not taking into account the size of anything. Basically, we're not taking into account format. That is the easy way, the easiest way possible to have custom alert is like you come here, you play around with stuff, you add a random GIF from the internet, boom, custom alert. Okay. That's not what I want to show you. That's not very creative, but it's a thing. Also, if you're using Streamlabs OBS, you can just add a source, go to alert box, and boom, you have your alert box. If you're using any other program that is not Streamlabs OBS, up here, it'll say widget URL. You have to copy it, go to OBS Studio, for example, add a new source, and then add a browser source, and then you'll copy paste the link. I already have it, obviously. Okay, lots of talk, not a lot of things going on. And then here you have the sound. I don't think I need to really explain that. It's the exact same thing. You can add a link if you don't have a file on your own. But if you do have a file, you would click on change media. Same thing for the video, same thing for the sound. So let's click change media to show you kind of what it looks like. So Streamlabs comes with a bunch of stock files. You'll have images. So they'll have GIFs and just random images that you can choose as your alert. So you already have quite the option, but nothing really custom made for you. Okay, so you can use all of that. And they also have sounds for the sounds. You can listen to them on your own free time. Okay. And then of course, there's more options for the font and stuff like that. I have mine on red because red is like one of my main colors right now. You can change the text size. This is all relative to the size of the alert. One thing you need to take into account, if you're going to make an alert that's going to be this size, the size that we have right now, or do you want a full screen alert, for example? So if you're making a full screen alert, for example, you're going to have an image that's going to be 1080p, but inside your browser source, just like in Streamlabs OBS 2, but I'm going to demonstrate this with OBS Studio. If I double click on the browser thing here, I have the option to change it. If I wanted this to be 1920 by 1080, which is the size of my screen, I would have to add it here. Now it's probably going to stretch whatever I have. Let me transform and make it fit the screen. There it goes. So right now my alert box is taking the whole screen. I don't need to save here, but I'm just going to save for good measure. And I'm going to click test follow. This is independent from the GIF you're using, the image that you're using, or whatever. Of course, if you're using a 1080p image as your alert and you want the text to appear on top of it or wherever, it's good to have your alert be full screen, but it doesn't have to. You can still stretch it and you can still lower the resolution inside of your broadcasting software. I don't know if that's clear. And now this GIF, which is probably not 1080p, was pretty much stretched to 1080p. Text stayed at the exact same size though. Yes. Although if I put the resolution to be very small, the text will adapt. It's adaptive text because it's code. Anyways, I think you get the point. Now, let's say I wanted to create a custom alert. All right. So this is Photoshop. I have a 1080p canvas. And I'm going to create an alert within this 1080p canvas, but it's not going to be 1080. We're going to create a very basic, simple little box, little rectangle in order to have the alert. Remember that the text by default will always be placed in the middle of your canvas or the resolution of your alert box. So let's take that into account in order to not have to touch the code at all. Okay, that has been cropped, and that is basically going to be the background for our alert. Now, in order to make this work, we need to know exactly what the size of this is. So I'm going to check with Photoshop, just press Ctrl-Alt-C, and I have the value right here. So basically what I'm going to need is, after uploading this to my Streamlabs, for example, I will need to, inside of OBS or Streamlabs OBS, I have to double click and then input the values right there. All right, so far so good, I think. Export this as an image file that is supported by Streamlabs. In this case, we're going to use PNG. Call this one alert. Okay, so now our image file is saved. So we're going to go back to Streamlabs and we're going to scroll down. We're going to click change media. And this is the place where you can upload stuff. Right here, you can say, you can see it says drag and upload. You can just go to your file and drag and drop, or you can click on it and find it. It's right there. Click, boom. And then when it's yellow, that means it's uploading something. So you have to wait. Boom, it has been uploaded. Not here, hopefully. Okay, cool. In my uploads is where you're going to find it. And depending on which file it is, you'll find it right there. Look at that. Beautiful. So you click on it once, you click select, And now you have this as your background for your custom alerts that we just created. All right. We're going to keep the text on top of it. So make sure the layout text on top of this, because if it's underneath it, you're just going to have this on top and it's not going to look good. So let's scroll down, boom, save, and then test follow. Remember that we need to add, see, like I already forgot, we need to add the right size. So if I test follow, right now I'm at 1080p. So it's going to look terrible. So let's open up Photoshop, or there's other ways to figure out what size your file is. Double click and add the right dimensions. So I have it set to fit right now. So it's going to stretch out and try to fit. I'm going to resize it. I'm going to be holding control so it maintains the right proportions. And I'm going to place it wherever I want. Let's say the middle. Okay. So now we're going to have the true size of it. So let's go to Streamlabs and test it out. Now that's what it looks like. Now from here inside of Streamlabs, what you can do is figure out the font size, the exact same font that you want to use. Let's pick a random one. Let's pick something kind of like the blue that we have, although it's probably not going to be very visible. Save settings, wait a couple seconds, and then test follow. Did I click? There we go. I want the text to be a little bigger. There you go. That is a pretty good looking custom alert. Imagine if those were my colors and my whole Twitch channel or Mixer channel or whatever looked like that, then I would have, that's how easy it is to make an alert that matches the rest of all of it. Now, that being said, how do I make it animated, for example? Okay, no matter what editing software you're using, it's gonna work. Basically, any software that allows you to export video files, that allow you to animate stuff and export video files, you can use to do that. So I'm gonna be using either Adobe Premiere or Adobe After Effects to do this. Actually, I'm gonna use Premiere. Let's use Premiere. Okay, so I'm here in Premiere, and there's obviously many ways I could animate it. I could just take the image that I have and add a couple of effects to make it, and then keyframe it to make it move. But I'm going to do something different. I'm going to upload separate parts of it. So I'm going to upload this part, and then I'll upload this part separately. Okay, so I have this, export this, and then I'm going to export a transparent PNG this time with the rest right there. Okay, and now I'm going to import those two files. Control I. So this is where the question, how do you make animated stuff, is kind of too broad of a question. Is you can do anything. You can really do anything as long as you know how to import a video file or create a video file. It really depends. As I said, I could have imported a selfie right there. I could have imported a little boomerang that I made with Instagram or Snapchat or anything. Any video or image file, I could transform it into a video or just upload it as an image as it is. Anyways, so I'm gonna right click this one and click new sequence from clip. Okay, so right now I have a sequence that is the perfect size of that image. I'm gonna stretch it out. Of course, we are using rectangles, which is super easy. Now, if you want your alert to be a round, for example, you will have to need transparency and stuff like that. So we'll touch maybe on another video. I'm not sure if I want to go through this right now. Okay, so bottom layer, top layer. Okay, so in order to animate it, basically we just have to make it move. That's what animation is. It's stuff that move, images that move. Okay, let's say, actually, we're going to play with the scale. All right, so at 0 seconds, I want the scale to be there. At 1 second, I want to go back to 10. And at 2 seconds, I want it to go back to 153. I'm just going to type it this time. So we're going to have the most basic animation. Ooh, ew. Okay, just in order to make it a little smooth, I'm going to add some sort of easy ease. So, whoop, ease in. Ease out. Animation should be a little more organic. There you go. And that's it. That's 3 seconds. And that's it. I just created an animated alert right there. Custom animated alert. Easy clap. I could have even created all those squares because like that's all I did in Photoshop. I had black background, create a bunch of squares, rotated them, and then add a little bit of blur to some of them. Okay. So I'm going to export this. And I'm going to export it into a format that Streamlabs is going to accept. As I said, MP4 is kind of widely accepted everywhere. So I'm going to use the H.264 compressor because it's one of the most popular ones. And it has a great ratio between compression and file size. It's going to be 30 frames per second. That's not a problem. That's the bit rate. We don't want the bit rate to be super high. There's no reason. But hey, this is not a Premiere tutorial. I'm just showing how you can do it in any software. And if you have an editing software and you don't know how to do this, you literally need to go and learn about your editing software a little bit more before attempting this. Because this is so basic. Okay, now that we have our file, we're going to go back to Streamlabs. And instead of using this PNG file, okay, we're going to take it off. We're going to go to change media. We're going to upload our brand new. Okay, actually, I forgot a huge detail and it just hit me right now. MP4s are not supported with Streamlabs. You actually have a list of everything that is supported here. It actually just supports PSD files. That's crazy. Anyway, so WebM if you want video files, GIF for animated image sequences, and then JPEGs for images, PNG. MP3 is going to be audio, same for OGG and WAVE. SVG is going to be vector graphics, EPS2, I believe. AI is Adobe Illustrator project files, and then PSD is Photoshop project files. So we have two solutions. First of all, either your editing software actually is able to export WebMs. I had to add a plugin for mine to do that, or you take your MP4, go to Google, okay, and just type MP4 to WebM. Boom. And you click on the first one. There's a bunch of them. And all you have to do here now is choose your file, convert it. It's going to take a while. In the meantime, I'm actually going to export it as a WebM. But know that with Adobe Premiere, for example, depending on whatever you're using, you can also export it as a GIF. But I don't advise you using GIF if you're going to do like very high quality graphics. You know, GIFs are fine for reaction GIFs or like the little zombie pixel art, you know. But if you want good compression and you don't want a file that's 1 gig, definitely use videos. Use WebM. Export it MP4, convert to WebM, and then import. Or maybe we won't even have to do all of that. Maybe it's going to be fast enough. Okay, good. Now, remember that if you import a WebM that already has audio to it, you won't need the second part here. Remember that part? The sound part? You won't need it if your WebM already has audio. I have a bunch of alerts that don't have audio, and just the WebM is enough because it plays the video and the audio that is inside the WebM. I don't advise you using that technique, basically exporting WebM with audio, because if ever you want to swap the audio but without swapping the video, it's easier if you have them separately, basically. Okay, so we downloaded this little WebM thing from our online conversion, and I'm gonna drag and drop it here. Boom, it's gonna be yellow. We're gonna wait. This tutorial could have been way simpler, but hey, I did what I could. Okay, we're gonna click on it once, and then we're gonna click select. So right now it's showing like that. Our alert is 3 seconds. Turns out our video file is also 3 seconds long. Now, that being said, if it's shorter and your alert is longer, it's actually going to play again. Another reason why you shouldn't have audio inside your WebM, because if it replays it, it's going to replay the audio and it's going to sound weird if it cuts in the middle. Anyways, boom, there's alert text delay. You can basically create a little animation and then time it with the text delay. I have a couple of them that are like that. So if in your video something happens, or maybe inside the video you decide the first transition in, and then here you can put alert text delay. You can put like, oh, show the text 2 seconds after the video started playing. Okay, and now we're gonna test the follow. Did it show? I didn't see anything. As you can see, it actually started playing again. So it loops. So don't worry too much about the length if it's just a graphic like that. But if you're going to have something specific play with music in sync, keep that in mind, because it's going to loop if the timing is not perfect. Okay. So I believe we covered the essentials when it comes to image alerts and video alert. I don't think I need to go into sound alert. Also, I already have a video on how to, you know, cut and find sounds and stuff like that. Now, if you are one of those people that are very good with code and or kind of good with code, this is where you would enable custom code. Okay. So right here, it would give you a little bit of information on what you can change and everything. For example, here, the alert text, the padding is something that's sometimes I play with relative to the position. Basically, if I have an image that requires the text to be slightly to the left or slightly to the right or anywhere, I could kind of play around here and add some code to make it appear exactly where I want. Okay, and then you have the JavaScript here. I try my best to avoid that at all costs. But if you guys want to see a little in-depth video, I have friends that are very, very good with code. I can get them to make a quick little tutorial to show the basics of how you can display certain parts of your alert here and there, animate them, and all the possibilities that you have. So let me know in the comment section below if that's something you would like to see. All you have to do is know the file resolution, basically what is its size, so everything fits well, and the file format that you need. In this case, animated, it's going to be WebM, GIF. Static is going to be PNG, JPEG. Let me pull up the list again. JPEG, PNG. For sound, it's going to be MP3 or OGG or WAVE. SVG, EPS, AI, PSD. Just use PNG. I forgot to show the transparent part. Oh, this is such a long video.